In Uncanny X-Men, the Xavier Institute for Mutant Education and Outreach has just been absolutely decimated by the newly minted four Horsemen in the form of Magneto, Omega Red, Angel, and the Blob. But unbeknownst to them, it's all an illusion conjured up by Jean Grey as armor shields the X-Men from the Horsemen's gaze. Satisfied that the X-Men have been defeated, the Horsemen leave to return to their master. Quadra Island, British Columbia, Canada. With the job well done, the Horsemen return to their master, the X-Man Nathan Grey. But Nathan Grey also has some other guests, as he also has managed to capture Apocalypse, Kitty Pryde, and the anti-mutant Senator Allen. Nathan tells Kitty Pryde he's going to project his vision to every mind on the planet. Now, Kitty Pryde thinks he's bluffing, but Apocalypse states he has Magneto on a leash like a dog, and he's turned off your powers with just one word. Furthermore, he has Apocalypse bound in chains, and yet you still doubt his power. All across the world, to every mind on the planet, human and superhuman alike, Nathan shares his vision, deeming himself to be the second coming that people have prayed for many years. He states that in 7 days, this world will be remade. There'll be much death and destruction, but it will all be in pursuit of the New World Order and a time of peace. In Sub-Basement Level 8 in the Xavier Institute for Mutant Education and Outreach, the X-Men watch on the TV as the news reporter try to make sense of everything that the people just saw in their head. As the X-Men go over their intel, they know that Nathan Grey has Omega Red, the Blob, Angel, Magneto, Kitty Pryde, and Senator Allen. But Legion informs them that the first person he abducted was Apocalypse. Legion flips out, stating that he tried to warn the X-Men by sending visions to Jean Grey. Now, Nathan Grey was created during the age of the Apocalypse, and Legion is the one who brought about the age of Apocalypse. Therefore, he blames himself for the creation of Nathan Grey. But as Legion is flipping out, Jean Grey and Psylocke suppress him and put him to sleep. Now, Glob and Armor think they should listen to Legion, seeing as he did come to warn them. But Jean Grey warns the young X-Men that Legion is one of the most dangerous people on the planet, and he can't be allowed to run wild. But some of the younger X-Men argue with Jean as they think that Legion is being treated unfairly. But not long ago, at Beast's lab at the Xavier Institute for Mutant Education and Outreach, Beast would be conducting some tests with a very special vaccine, but he would be horrified to discover that one of his vials has seemingly gone missing. But back in British Columbia, Canada, Legion stands on the beach as he talks to the four horsemen about how the X-Men were becoming a nuisance and thus they had to be dealt with. He thanks the horsemen for their diligence in dealing with this matter before assigning them a new task. Meanwhile, back at the X-Men base, reports of catastrophic events are coming in from all across the world. The Avengers, the Fantastic Four, and all other superhero factions are stretched thin, so the X-Men are getting ready to mobilize. Now, Jean Grey tells the younger X-Men to assist in the cleanup of the X-Men mansion, but Haseko feels disrespected that her team is being left behind. But Jean Grey is like, team? What the fuck team are you talking about? But as Haseko and Jean argue, Jean knows they don't have time for this, so she tells Armor to do whatever she feels is right, since she wants to throw a temper tantrum. Haseko wishes Jean good luck, and the X-Men get ready to move out. 20 miles outside of Yukos Trinea, the X-Men arrive to a weird scene of a group of people facing off with a group of soldiers. Now the soldiers are pissed because Magneto took all the guns and erected a statue of Nathan Grey. Now the soldiers think the people had something to do with the coming of Magneto, so now all hell is breaking loose. The X-Men find themselves in the middle of a riot, but they don't actually want to hurt anybody, seeing as these are just normal people. It saddens Storm that the only thing keeping these two factions from fighting each other was the threat of death from guns. Meanwhile, back at the X-Men sub-basement, Armor, Pixie, Glob, and Rockslide go to have a little conversation with Legion. Legion basically tells them that he brought about the Age of Apocalypse and Nathan Gray is a byproduct of that, but he does have a plan to stop him. But as the kids are talking to him, one thing that becomes immediately apparent is that Legion is completely fucking crazy. Now, Pixie calls a meeting in the medical room and she tells the group that this whole thing is crazy, as Legion is 150% crazy. But Armor and Glob think they should listen to Legion, seeing as he's the only one that has a plan. The younger X-Men vote on it, with 2 in favor and 2 oppose. But Anoli still lies on the medical table as he asks the group, doesn't he get a vote? Meanwhile, in the Gulf of Mexico, 50 miles off the coast of Louisiana, Omega Red and the Blob set fire and absolutely decimate this oil rig. And to make matters worse, as the civilians are evacuating, they get eaten by a goddamn megalodon, seeing as Nathan Gray is bringing back all the extinct creatures of Earth's past. But luckily for the people, the X-Men has arrived as Jean Grey orders Northstar and Iceman to get the people to safety. Iceman puts the megalodon on ice while they both proceed to carry out several of the civilians. Meanwhile, Jean Grey, Bishop, and X-23 confront the Blob and Omega Red. But as the Blob and Omega Red try to convince Jean Grey to stand down, Jean Grey tells Bishop and X-23 to get to the ship and save as many workers as possible. Meanwhile, at Darian's pub in Hell's Kitchen, Glob enters the pub to find Jamie Madrox, the Multiple Man. Now, Glob tells Jamie that Legion has a plan to stop Nathan Gray. Now, Jamie is very apprehensive at first as he doesn't trust Legion, but he finally agrees to go while telling Glob that if he dies, it's on him. To be continued.